Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all well. Please excuse my makeup at the minute, that is going to come off because what I've got for you today is a testing video, but I've also got a bit of a mini haul. So Revolution launched their matte base products, I think it was yesterday. I went straight online, ordered them from Superdrug and got next day delivery, and they were delivered today. It is now 5 to 5, so obviously it is a bit later on, but I want to try and get this filmed as quick as possible and wear this foundation as long as I can. So I'm hoping to get about a 5 or 6 hour wear test out of this for you, fingers crossed, so we can see if it does last up. Yes, I'm looking very shiny here. That's because I've got no makeup on there. I've just had my eyebrows done, so obviously I've got no makeup on around here, so I am going to be very careful of that when I put the foundation on in a little bit, because obviously I don't want to irritate around there and end up with a load of little spots. But to start with, let's show you what I picked up. So obviously I said I did an online little mini Revolution haul through Superdrug, but I went in to Superdrug obviously to pick up my parcel and did pick up just only a couple of things. I didn't spend a massive amount. I think I spent about just over £16. And what I picked up, I will show you what I picked up in store first. So the first thing I picked up was the Superdrug Naturally Radiant Glycolic Overnight Peel. I've been struggling with my skin at the minute. I mean, you can see I've got like a couple of scars here. Oh, careful Jess. I've been breaking out quite a bit, and obviously it's left me with like some uneven skin tone, things like that, and glycolic is good for obviously resurfacing, helping to reproduce new skin, and it's Superdrug own brand, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's cruelty free, so obviously that's really good for everyone that likes to stick to vegan and cruelty free products. So that, I picked up that. Then I picked up it's an Optimum product by Superdrug, and it's a bedtime cleansing balm. I've heard a lot about cleansing balms. I haven't actually tried one myself. I've tried loads of different cleansers, foaming cleansers, oil cleansers, everything like that, but I've never actually tried a balm cleanser. It's supposed to be really good for the skin, so I just picked up that, and I think it was actually on offer. It's about half price, so obviously best time to try something. I picked up just another sheet mask, Garnier one. Can never go wrong with the Garnier sheet masks and eye masks, things like that. They are really good. And because I picked up 3 skincare products, I got a Jinju Beauty face and lip mask duo, just this little one here. So you get a lip mask and a bubble sheet mask, and they are Korean skincare, and like I said, this was free, and it is the multi-pack. So it says the lip mask, put on 10 to 20, leave it on for 10 to 20 minutes, and the sheet mask, you have to rub it in the packet to activate it, then put it on to 10 to 15 minutes and then rinse off. So I will let you know how I get on with some Korean skincare. Looking forward to trying them. Korean skincare always seems to be really good and raved about. And then the last thing I picked up, I don't even know really what it smells like, and it's the Body Fantasy in Twilight Mist. Just because some days I don't always want to wear perfume, like if I'm not really going out of the house, but I do still want to smell nice. So I just picked up a little body mist. And that is all I picked up in store. Like I said, I didn't pick up a massive amount. I just wanted a couple of skincare bits that I knew I wanted to pick up. And then obviously this was a bonus because it was free. Oh, no, I did pick up one other thing. My last imperfection in Fair. I did pick up Extra Fair the other day, but I use Fair, and obviously I've been using it a lot more with my breakouts because it is my skin colour. So that is all that I picked up from Superdrug in store, and then online I picked up the Revolution matte base, and it's more Port Blurring Full Coverage Foundation, and I picked it up in F5. I'm hoping it's not going to be too dark, and I have been getting F2, but I have to mix it with something because it's a little bit too pale, and this was the next darkest shade with the same undertone, or similar undertone, because the undertone is pretty much perfect for me, but like I say, it's just a bit too light. So I did pick that up. It's got one of those little sticky seals, so obviously I'm gonna put that on my face. And again, like most Revolution products, it is cruelty free and vegan. Then with the same launch, they launched the matte base concealer. It's a full coverage concealer, but I've actually got it in C13 because I'm going to do a bit of cream contouring with it. I've never used any of the Revolution products to contour, or cream contour should I say, so I thought I would pick it up. I'm hoping the tone or the shade is going to be okay, because I picked up C13, so let's just, I think that should be okay. I'm hoping it's not too dark actually, but that should be okay. It does look very matte as well. You can see there's sort of not really any sheen to that, because that is the only thing when it comes to like cream contour and stick foundations, things like that. They tend to be quite oily, so I'm looking forward to trying that. And the last thing I picked up from this launch, I didn't pick up the multi concealer, just because I've got loads of concealer, absolutely loads of concealer, and I didn't need a concealer palette, but I did pick up the matte base powder in P1, so it's just a pressed powder, does as it says, it's a powder, and it's in the shade, I think this equals to like C1 and F1 in the foundation, so it's the not the fairest shade, but it is one of the fairest shades, and I'm gonna try and use this to set under my eyes. So what my plan is to use this all over, use the Conceal and Define in C1 under my eyes and to highlight, this to contour, and then this under my eyes, or maybe all over, we'll see. But I have got some Revolution loose setting powders, which I've had those a while anyway. And the last thing I picked up, which I wanted to pick this up at Christmas, but I just never got around to it, and it is the Revolution lip topper, and this is in Exquisite. So it is, like it says, it's a lip topper, it's not really got any colour to it. It's like a pink champagne-y colour, and it is a gloss, but look how shiny that is. It looks gorgeous, and like I say, it's got no colour to it, that is just pure glitter. And I have been liking wearing glitter, or a bit more, not quite as matte. I haven't been reaching for the matte liquid lips as much lately, so yeah, I think I'll try that over a lipstick. And then because I ordered those, if you spent £12, I'm not sure if the offer is still on, but if it is, I will link the Revolution makeup down below, or I'll link it down below anyway. But because I spent £12 or more on Revolution makeup, I got an Opulence highlight compact for free. Ooh, and I got it in like the bronzy shade. You don't get to pick which one you get, it is just sort of pot look kind of thing, but I think that one will be, I won't be able to use this as highlight. I may be able to get away with sort of this top on, but I can use that as a bronzer, because I have been liking a glowy bronzer, and it's got a mirror in it. Sorry to blind you, just there. Yeah, it's got a mirror in it, so it's a nice little compact to carry around with you. So yeah, that is the little mini haul. Like I say, not a lot. The main thing that I was going for was these matte bases, because if it stays matter longer than the Conceal and Define foundation, I will be very happy. That is what I'm wearing today. Like I said, I've not got any around my eyebrows because it's been taken off when I had my eyebrows done, but that lasts very, very well. I put it on at 9 o'clock this morning, and apart from this bit, I've not touched any of my face. Yes, I've got a little bit of glow going on my nose, but that is because it is -3 outside. It is freezing. But yeah, if this lasts better or longer, I will be very happy. So what I'm going to go do, I'm just going to go cleanse my face, take my makeup off, and then I'll be back ready to put this on my face and hope the shade is okay. So yeah, I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I've cleansed my face and put my Revolution Hyaluronic Acid serum on, which is what I normally do on a morning. I normally put SPF on as well, but obviously it's gone 5 o'clock at night, so I do not need SPF. So let's start. Let me just grab my foundation brush. Got it. So I have been liking using a brush to blend everything out at the minute. I sort of alternate between a brush and a sponge, but I normally go in with a brush, and then if I think that I need to just sort of like pat down anywhere, if it's looking a bit cakey, I go over with the sponge, which tends to help. So I'm not going to put any primer on, because this leaves a nice tack to the skin, and I don't normally wear primer on a day-to-day basis depending on what I'm doing. This might be a bit dark. Let's try. I'm not actually sure how much I need. So you actually get 28 mils of product in this, which is obviously only slightly less, and I think it was £5 for the foundation, so it is actually a bit cheaper than the Conceal and Define. So let's see. Let's start blending. I don't even know if this is going to be enough, but we can try. It does say it's full coverage. It smells nice as well. That is a big thing for me. Smells. Obviously, if I'm wearing it on my face, and I'm blending it near my nose, I do not want an awful smell. So I've actually cheated. I've left, because I get my eyebrows HD'd, and they do fill your brows in. I've left them on, so I haven't got to fill my brows in again. And as well, I don't like to do too much, like I say, around my brows when I've just had my brows done. So let's just grab a smaller mirror so we can look up close at this. Colour's not too bad actually. Maybe a bit yellow toned, but nothing really bad. And the only thing I maybe would have preferred is if it was in like a pump bottle or something like that, because obviously with it being in like just a squeezy tube, you can never tell 100% how much you're using, whereas obviously in a pump is the same every time you use it. So that's blended out quite nicely. I think it's covered quite well. Obviously I'm looking very even. Like I said, I'm just trying to avoid not putting it too close to my eyebrows because I don't want to irritate the skin around there. But what I'm going to do, I would be quite happy with that, with some concealer, just to go about my day. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if it is buildable, because obviously we don't want cake face if we try and put a second layer on. And it does say it is full coverage, so we should be able to add some more on there. I've just got a little audience. The cat is literally right here watching me. So it does oxidise ever so, only slightly, but it does oxidise slightly. But that is blending out very nicely. I'm going to blend down the neck. Now the thing that I am noticing, it's actually not drying down a massive amount, which I kind of would have expected it to, because the Conceal and Define, sometimes I do think, especially in the summer, I don't even need to powder that down because it is matte. I mean, it is matte, but it's like a satin matte. My skin still looks like skin. It's looking a bit like undead skin at the minute because we're all one colour. But I'm just going to take my sponge, and that just smooths everything out even more. So what I'll do, I will show you my skin with just this on, and then we'll go into contouring and concealing, well, not even concealing, because those spots are pretty much gone. And as you saw when I had no makeup on, this one was quite red, quite angry, but actually as well, I would say it's quite poor blurring. I do normally have like quite obvious pores around my nose, but let me come a little bit closer so we can see. Obviously you can still see them, but they look, let's turn you to the light a little bit more. They do look sort of a bit smoother, and you've got to remember this has got no powder on it at the minute, but that's blended very nicely, and as I said, they have covered well as well. No, Jess. So let's, oh, lose a cat. Come on, off Mummy's dressing table. Watch the camera. This is not going to end well, is it? Come on. Come on, your chair. I've actually been downgraded. I have a chair for my dressing table. Apparently it's Jess's chair now, because every time I sit in it, she wants me to move. So I've actually been downgraded. But let's move on. Let's go in with some concealer. I've got cat hair on me. Actually, first I'm going to go in with contour. Only because if I go a bit heavy with this, I can correct it with some concealer. So let's just, I like to use a stippling brush, which I have no idea what I've done with it. It's over here. I like to use a dual fibre stippling brush just because I find it blends easier. I think I've got cat hair on my face now, typical. Right, so let's go in on one side to start with. So let's just move my hair out of the way. It's not too bad a colour. My cheekbone is way too low there, but we can fix that because we can just blend up and out. Okay, so a little goes a long way with this, and it blends out really easily. As I said, a little goes a long way. I'm just going to take my brush and just tidy up under that, and then I'll clean up again later with some powder. That's not too bad actually. You can see when I turn, obviously because this side of the room is darker, when I turn you can see more of a shadow there, so it's not too bad. Let's go on this side, maybe not be quite as heavy-handed. Get the cheekbone in the right place would help. And actually I would say that is more matte than the foundation. But I do really like that tone. It's quite nice. What I'm going to do my forehead in a minute, but before I do anything, I'm just going to take this without any product on my nose and just shadow up my nose. And don't worry if you go a bit too heavy. As I said, we're going to go in with concealer in a minute to sort that out. But these products are blending really nicely together. Like I said, I'm going to use the conceal and define, so we will see if they're like intermixable. It's not really cool tone, so you can kind of use it as like a bronzer slash contour. You can use it for a bit of both, warming the face up as well as adding a bit of shape. Let's just go along the jawline, why not? I like that. And like I said, I've just, where I'd gone a bit too heavy-handed, I've just gone back in with the foundation brush and it just blended nicely. So let's brighten up my under eyes and get rid of some of these darker circles. A little bit on the tip of my nose. Cupid's bow. All the normal places you would highlight. And then I do always blend out my concealer with a sponge. There we go, so that's just helped that contour. Obviously, as you can see, it's darker down the sides, and because we've gone in with the concealer after, we can just take that down a little bit if it needs it. I gotta remember, this does dry down quickly, this concealer, or quicker than some others. Yeah, that's blending really nicely. with the foundation and with the contour as well. It's just nice and seamless, like there's no lifting of any of the products or anything. It's just blurring together nicely. So I'm really liking how that looks. It's looking really nice. Like I said, it's blended together very nicely. No harsh lines, apart from where I haven't blended properly. So let me just come closer. As I said, this is all before powdering, but that is looking very nice. As you can see, it just creates a nice shadow there. Obviously I've used the Conceal and Define, seen that plenty of times, and like I said, this cat here, this shade for me is good for bronzing and contouring. So as you can see, I've got a shadow there, but as well it's warmed up the rest of my face. I will go in with a bit of bronzer anyway, but let's set this in place, because I do, no matter if it's matte, even my Maybelline Superstay, I still set everything. Now I did say I'm going to try this P1 powder under my eyes. I do normally bake under my eyes, but let's try anyway, because it should technically be the same shade as the concealer we've just used. Couldn't think of the word, I was going to call it highlight. No, we're not that far ahead yet. So let's just tap out all of those creases, and because of the shape of my eye, I do get creases even when it's baked, set, everything like that. Okay, so it's quite a firmly pressed powder. I'm just gonna tap that all under my eyes. This is, for me, is the best way to tap it, not swipe it, because then it just keeps everything in place. Just tap out those ones on the lid. Okay, so that is it set, and that is it unset. Let's see if that powder has made any difference to like blurring it or anything. To me, actually, it does look like the pores are even more smooth. So let me just come a little bit closer. If I look at that side to that side, it is looking a lot smoother. So the combination of these products, you can tell that they've put their research in and they work. So let's just do this side. I'm going to do now, I'm going to go off, set the rest of my face. Actually, I'll do that right now, may as well, and then we can see what it looks like set. And I'm just using the Revolution Lace Powder. Just gonna use a big powder brush and just stamp that all over. Okay, so that is it fully set. Yes, I'm going to look a bit powdery and it has sort of taken my colour down a little bit, but like I said, I'm really liking how this is looking actually. Once I've finished everything and I spritz some setting spray on, it will all sort of melt together. So like I said, I'm going to go off now, finish the rest of my face, and I will come back, show you what it looks like, and then we will get to testing this foundation. The time is 5:32, so I'm going to try and have this makeup on till about 11 o'clock tonight. So that's about 5.5 hours. I know it's not the longest test, but I know by then normally I would be able to tell how oily my skin is getting, and fingers crossed this stays nice and matte. So let me go off, finish everything, and I will be back to show you what it all looks like with everything on. Okay, so I've now put my full face on. I'm actually wearing Full Face Revolution. This bronzer is the Opulence bronzer that I got free from Superdrug with the matte base stuff. Emails apparently. I'm also wearing the lip topper that I bought, which was the shade Exquisite, and it's got like, if I should bring it up close, it's got like a pink shift to it. So what I went rooting through my lip drawer and I used the Revolution lip pencil in Worth It, which is actually a purple, but I used that, and then used the Amazing lipstick in the shade Affection, which is like a true pink, and then like I say, I put the lip topper over the top under my contour, so that is why I'm looking super sucked in at the minute. And then the highlight that I used was the Revolution Baked Highlight in Golden Lights. So like I said, I'm using Full Face Revolution today. Wasn't planned, but I thought, got so many Revolution products on, why not finish it off? And I even added a wing, which is not like me. If you've watched any of my videos, I very rarely do a wing, just because I can't be bothered with it. I've not got the time to sit and do a wing. I'll do a wing with an eyeshadow, but not so much with a liquid eyeliner. So there's one last thing to do, and that is take the Hyaluronic Fixing Spray from Revolution, and we're just gonna drench the face to make sure that this sits in place. Now I think this is a new one, so let me just, no, this one isn't a new one. I love that moisture though. I've got my fanner ready. Might be a bit noisy because it's the packaging, but let's spritz this face. So that is that. Let me come up close and show you what my face is looking like. I really like this. Obviously I am wearing shimmery bronzer and the shimmery blusher, so that is what the shimmer is here. But my big test, obviously I get oily here, but I've had to sort of avoid that a little bit. My big test to whether this is going to do the sort of whole time is my nose. Now I do normally put highlighter on my nose, but I haven't, because if I'm going to get oily, I will get oily here, here, and right on the tip. So I've got highlight just sort of on the bridge of my nose, but not on the tip, because that is where I would get oily. So let me come up close and show you this. As I said, I do get creasing under my eyes. That is just, one, the shape of my eyes, and two, my age pretty much. This mascara is the Revolution mascara. Love it. But yeah, this is how my skin is looking. And I really like it. Like I say, from this distance I'm looking super flawless. Close up I'm pretty much looking the same. Yeah, even in the nose, like it's blended out nicely. All of those products have sat on top of it nicely. I've got no sort of shifting of the foundation underneath where I've put product on. So let's leave this to sit. I'm not doing a massive amount, I'm doing some housework, so I'm going to hoover up, tidy up, do some washing, empty the dishwasher which is just finished, and I will probably come check back in about 3 hours, so 3 hours from 5:30, so I'll come and check back with you about 8:30, and then I will check with you once I come to take my makeup off, and we will see what this is looking like. I like the fact that yes, it's a matte base, but it looks like skin. Yes, it's full coverage. Yes, it's not everyone's taste, but this for me is me. This is my makeup, and I'm quite happy with that colour as well, actually. Yes, my chest isn't quite as yellow, but I'm wearing a high top, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's not 100%, but as well, it's a lot better than the F2 was. The F2 completely washed me out. Okay, so I'm back. Obviously, first check-in. It is, oh, Jessie Bear. It is 21:23, so it's actually, this makeup has been on my face for 4 hours now. Cat has just woken up. Let's chill out. So I like this. I really like this. I've not done anything to it since you saw this last clip like 2 seconds ago. I've done nothing to my face. I've done some housework, put some washing away, hoovered, started on tea, had a little bit of a catch up on YouTube because I haven't seen anything, and I'm really liking this. I'm a little bit shiny on my forehead, but I think that is partially the shimmer bronzer that I used, and obviously where I didn't go too close to my eyebrows because I didn't want them to have a bit of a reaction with me just having them done. My nose, you can see it's just sort of starting to catch the light, but not oily. Like it's not moved the foundation. A bit of a dry patch here, but my skin was dry anyway, and I do find that matte foundations, obviously if you have got dry skin, this might not be for you. I mean, if you put hydrating primer underneath, there's no reason to say that it's not for you, but if you are, the cat just heard something, if you are prone to sort of dry patches or anything like that, it may cling to them. I'll show you what I mean. My little dry patch that's just here, and it's not a dry patch as in looks scaly or anything like that. It's where I've had a breakout, and obviously as it's starting to heal, the skin's a bit drier, but the only thing I will say about it is I'm noticing my pores a bit more than when I first put it on, but for me that's nothing new. I do have big pores, but I do really like how this is looking. Let me come closer to you and we will inspect this all. The contour is still looking really good, hasn't really faded or anything. That's one thing I do find about powder bronzers and contours, they can fade, whereas cream and liquid ones once they're on, they're set, they're kind of in place for the day, a bit like your foundation and your concealer. So yeah, that's still looking obviously gorgeous. The highlight is still looking gorgeous. But let's come in nice and close. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit, just a tiny bit shiny on my nose. Nothing that would like have me grabbing for the pressed powder or anything just at the minute. Please ignore my lips. I've had a drink and just had a little snack, so obviously that's why that's worn off. But as you can see, you just can see my pores a little bit more. I'm still looking super full coverage. It's sunken in like a tiny bit around my nose, but that's only when I like that and stretch out. I don't really have deep set smile lines, so that's not something I really have to worry about. Like, it doesn't tend to sink into them or anything. Let's just, it's not looking cakey or anything around the mouth. Yes, it's creased under my eyes, but that's just my skin. I am 27, so obviously my skin does tend to crease a little bit, and the shape of my eyes, the underneath of my eyes are quite deep set, so as you can, like you can see here, like I have like the little, not as bad as some people, but obviously my eye does come under here, so obviously that's where those creases come from, but that is, like I say, nothing new to me. Yeah, I'm really liking how this is sitting on my skin, and the longer I'm wearing it, the more I'm liking it. In person, when I look in the mirror, yes, it looks a little bit not as matte, but it's still like a satin matte, so obviously it's still not full on oily. At this point I wouldn't powder down. Like I say, around my eyebrows I didn't really put anything around there, so obviously we're just going to ignore this bit. But I'm really liking how this is sitting on my skin. So it's final check-in, and I've just had a quick look in the mirror, and nothing really has changed. I've got a little patch here that kind of looks like it's worn off, but I think that's more because when I went out of the house I had my scarf like right up around my face if it's cold. But it is now 10 to midnight. I have had this on my face 6.5 hours. So yeah, I would say this has definitely held up. Getting a little bit shiny around my forehead now. Apart from that, nothing else has really changed since my last check-in. Apart from the fact that I look very tired. I like this foundation. This is definitely gonna be one of my favourites. It'd be good to see how it stands up against my Maybelline Superstay, which, as you know, is pretty much my favourite foundation. But if it's looking like this after 6.5 hours, this is pretty much not a full working day, but nearly a full working day. I could powder down now. I am going to do that actually. Let's have a quick powder down, even though everything is going to come off in a minute. Let's take the P1 powder that we used earlier and a big fluffy brush. Just there you go, pat that down. Let's have a look in the mirror. a little close-up. That looks flawless again pretty much. Hasn't gone patchy at all. Like I said earlier with my last check-in, yes, you can see my pores a bit more, but like I say, that's pretty much it. The same with every foundation, because I haven't put a pore blooming primer on. It would be good to see how it holds up with like my Benefit Professional underneath, see if that helps it blur out everything for a bit longer. But let's come a little bit closer one last time so you can see exactly. This was the little patch I was on about, and it's not even like really noticeable, but just powdered down, not looking cakey. Like I said, this had happened earlier, but yeah, I really like this. And like I say, it's 28ml for £5, which is only 2ml off the sort of average foundation. And I don't think I've ever had a foundation for £5 that has looked this good nearly 7 hours later. So I will definitely be re-wearing this, and I will probably wear it all day for work tomorrow. But yeah, I really liked it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe for some more makeup testing videos. Let me know what you want me to test down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.